All right, everybody, Hafaday, and welcome back to KUM News Extra. I'm Jason Salas. Thanks so much for sticking with us. You may know that October 23rd through the 31st, right here on Guam, is typically proclaimed Red Ribbon Week, but here on the island, the entire month of October is Red Ribbon Month. Now, here to talk about this event with us are U.S. Attorney Alicia Limtiaco and DEA Resident in Charge Mike Pirulewski. Hafaday, and welcome back to you both.
Hafaday.
Okay, so we do these interviews all the time because it's a very significant event and it commemorates great things. So, like, Mike, get us up to speed. What exactly is Red Ribbon Month?
Red Ribbon Month, and again, I want to thank Guam because everybody else is Red Ribbon Week, but we are in fact Red Ribbon Month. Came about due to the murder of Kiki Camarena. He was a DEA agent working in Mexico, and in 1986 he was killed by drug traffickers. A grassroots campaign starting from family up to the community led to the Red Ribbon. So now Red Ribbon has become a national thing that occurs every year, and it's for usually a week in October. And again, we're proud to say that we celebrate it for an entire month. And our goal is to get youth to stay off of drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes to live a healthier lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Now, Alicia, the fact that it's an entire month, is that indicative of the situation our island finds itself in with drugs, or just by virtue of the fact that you guys have so many activities in terms of community outreach and in terms of education and, like really involving the people to, to take an active part in keeping drugs away from our kids?
Well, one of the messages certainly that we want to impart to the community is that we do need to acknowledge that we do have a drug abuse problem here in our district in Guam. We have all of the various agencies and organizations, both governmental and non-governmental, who come together to comprise our Red Ribbon Campaign Committee. And by doing this, we have all of the different partners working with our village mayors as well, and all of the various branches of government coming together to make sure that we have an awareness, a public education and awareness campaign that is directed towards our youth. So our schools are very critical in this. We talk about the issues and the problems. We acknowledge the problem that we have with regards to drug abuse, and we really need to work on prevention and prevention efforts, which is really what the Red Ribbon Campaign is designed to do.
Admitting is the first step, like most 12-step programs would tell you. Now, that's very commendable that you guys are doing it for the youth and, like starting with the kids and making sure that they know it's a bad thing and, don't get caught up in this vicious cycle. How about at the organizational or institutional level, Alicia? Because you mentioned, what the GovGuam agencies are doing, and agencies in the local government so often do random drug testing to try and whittle out or shake down, if you will, drug problems that may exist in those agencies. Like, how are you guys involved with that?
Well, certainly every governmental agency on its own would have their own internal policies and procedures with regards to any issues involving substance abuse. This particular campaign is designed primarily on public education and prevention efforts that reach really out to our entire community. And then in that respect, certainly the involvement of the various government agencies their involvement in and of themselves, we believe, show really the importance that the agency places on this issue. We can take what we learn from the Red Ribbon activities, from the statistics, from the surveys, from the reports that we receive, including those that come from DEA about the latest information on substance and drug abuse, and we share that with the memberships, which can also be taken back to their various organizations. So there is that aspect of it. And it's one that we'll continue to emphasize really internally within the organizations.
All right, very well. Okay, Mike, so I'm old enough to remember when there was the whole, that very memorable ad campaign that reached out to youth like myself from the 80s when they said, this is your brain on drugs, with the eggs. And there was a very concerted effort at that point to almost take like a tough love approach You know, the whole scared straight thing, like
Right,
in prisons
right.
and everything like that. What approach does the DEA take to make sure that youth knows that, again, drugs are bad and it's a vicious cycle you just don't want to get caught up with because of all the damage it does to your family, to your own health, and, you know, to your community?
Those programs, the DARE programs, are still active in the communities, but 1 in 5 teens admit to using pain pills to get high. That's a fairly large statistic. So the
20%.
way that is, and most of those teens obtain those things from their parents' own medicine cabinets. So they're getting that stuff right at home. So we take the opportunity to speak to the schools. Last year we spoke to tens of thousands of kids from all ages, from kindergarten all the way into high school students, about the dangers of drugs. We let them ask questions of the committee members, which is made up of nonprofit organizations, other federal law enforcement, and other federal agencies. So we had the opportunity to speak to probably more than half of the kids on the island last year, and we're hoping to do the same this year.
All right.
So,
Well, we'll get you out of here with one more question. How can people get involved with the Red Ribbon Committee? You know, maybe parents, clergy members, or, you know, like organizational leaders?
well, there's many opportunities. We have numerous activities scheduled for October. In fact, tomorrow we're going to have the proclamation. That's going to be, the governor's going to be signing the proclamation starting Red Ribbon Month. But in addition to that, we have poster contests, we have gate decorating for the schools, their gates. But we also have, that's falling into the Red Ribbon Month this year, is the National Take Back Initiative, which is, last year, Guam brought in almost 500 pounds of expired or unneeded, unused prescription drugs. So we're giving the community, again, that opportunity, and that's going to be October 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to get rid of those things. Because as I said, 1 in 5 students admit to using prescription drugs to get high. Most of them say they get it from their parents' cabinets. So it's the community's responsibility to go through those, inventory those, and take the opportunity to get rid of everything that they don't need.
All right, well, we got to go to commercial, but we definitely want to have both of you back as October continues to progress and see what activities continue to keep drugs off our streets. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and stay tuned.